In the heart of Boston, Ava Personalization's world shatters when her closest confidant steals her greatest sacrifice before a cheering crowd. At a gala meant to honor her father's recovery, a single lie unravels years of trust, thrusting Ava into a high-stakes battle for truth where the consequences are far greater than she ever feared. There is one detail that only the attentive notice. Did you see it? Write in the comments and click subscribe, because it will be even cooler. The chandeliers of Boston's Liberty Hall sparkled like a constellation, bathing the crowd of donors in a golden glow. Ava Thompson, 32, stood near the stage's edge, her heart swelling with quiet pride. Tonight celebrated her father, David, a retired school principal who defied cancer's grip. The gala, hosted by Ava's Boston Hope Community Center, honored his recovery while raising funds for others drowning in medical debt. But beneath her composed surface, a secret simmered. Ava had emptied her savings, $47,000, to anonymously clear David's hospital bills, shielding her family from financial ruin. Ava, a program director at the community center, was no stranger to selflessness. Her chestnut hair was pinned in a sleek bun, her emerald dress simple yet elegant, reflecting her knack for staying under the radar. She was the family's rock, always fixing problems without fanfare. The only person she trusted with her secret was her cousin, Megan Carter, a 35-year-old PR executive whose charisma and designer wardrobe screamed success. Ava thought Megan was her ally until tonight. As the gala unfolded, David took the stage, his voice steady despite months of grueling treatment. "Someone out there paid my medical bills," he said, eyes shining. "A stranger, an angel. Whoever you are, you gave me my life back." The crowd roared with applause, and Ava's chest tightened with warmth. She glanced at Megan across the room, expecting a shared moment. Instead, Megan's smile was sharp, almost predatory. Then it came. David, beaming, asked, "Is that someone here tonight?" Before Ava could react, Megan swept to the microphone, her ruby gown catching every light. "It was me," she proclaimed, her voice bold and clear. The room erupted in cheers. David's face glowed with gratitude, and Ava's mother, Linda, grasped Megan's hand, tears spilling. "You're a blessing," Linda choked out. Ava stood rooted, her champagne flute trembling. Her pulse pounded. She'd confided in Megan over coffee at Faneuil Hall Marketplace, a rare moment of openness. Now, Megan soaked up the stolen praise, her smile unshaken as she accepted embraces. Ava's eyes flicked to Megan's husband, Jake, whose brow creased in confusion. "You did this?" he murmured, barely audible over the applause. Megan's laugh was slick. "Wanted to surprise you, babe." The betrayal sliced through Ava like a blade. Her mind churned, replaying every trust she'd placed in Megan. Was their bond a sham? As the crowd toasted Megan's kindness, Ava's fists clenched. She wanted to charge the stage, expose the lie, but David's radiant smile stopped her. He'd endured too much. She couldn't shatter his joy. Not now. Then she noticed something odd, a man in a charcoal suit by the bar, his gaze locked on Megan with an intensity that clashed with the gala's warmth. His eyes met Ava's for a fleeting moment before he melted into the crowd. A shiver ran through her. This wasn't just a personal betrayal, something bigger was at play, and Megan's lie was the first thread in a tangled web. As the night wore on, Ava forced smiles, chatting with donors while her mind raced. Megan dodged her gaze, her laughter too loud, her movements jittery. When Ava finally cornered her, Megan's smile wavered. "Having fun?" Ava asked, her voice low, edged with steel. Megan's eyes darted away. "Of course. It's for David, isn't it?" The lie hung heavy, unspoken but choking. Later, in her Beacon Hill apartment, Boston's skyline blurred through Ava's tears as she drove home. She replayed the gala, the cheers, the man in the suit. Megan's lie felt calculated, part of a larger scheme. Ava opened her laptop, checking her bank account. The $47,000 withdrawal was there, undeniable proof. Exposing Megan would crush David's fragile peace, but letting the lie fester was unbearable. Ava needed answers, and she sensed time was running out. The next morning, Ava called Megan, her voice calm but firm. "We need to talk about last night." Megan's tone was airy, evasive. "What's to talk about?" "Great night, right?" Ava's grip tightened on her phone. "You lied, Megan. You claimed my sacrifice." "Why?" A long pause, then Megan's voice turned cold. "You're overreacting, Ava. You didn't want the spotlight, so what's the big deal?" "The deal?" Ava snapped. "You betrayed me. You looked David in the eye and lied. How do you sleep at night?" Megan sighed, her tone softening, almost desperate. "I just wanted to feel like I mattered, okay? David's always adored you. I thought this could be my moment." Ava's heart twisted, but she held firm. "You don't get to steal my sacrifice to boost your ego. Fix this, Megan, or I will." Hanging up, Ava's anger hardened into resolve. She opened her laptop and dug into Megan's life, her job at Apex PR, her rapid promotions, her lavish Instagram posts. Megan's lifestyle outstripped her salary. Then Ava recalled the man in the suit. Was he tied to Megan's lie? Was her deception part of something bigger? Ava's search led to Apex PR's recent campaigns, hinting at shady deals. The truth was out there, and Ava was determined to find it, legally, for David's sake. Ava Thompson sat at her cluttered desk in the Boston Hope Community Center, the hum of fluorescent lights barely drowning out her racing thoughts. It had been 3 days since the gala at Liberty Hall, where her cousin Megan Carter had stolen credit for Ava's $47,000 sacrifice to clear David's medical bills. The betrayal gnawed at her, but the mysterious man in the charcoal suit lingered in her mind like a shadow. His piercing gaze and sudden disappearance hinted at a deeper game, one Ava was determined to unravel. Ava's office was a cozy chaos of grant proposals, donor lists, and framed photos of community events. A picture of her and David at a Red Sox game smiled back at her, a reminder of why she couldn't let Megan's lie destroy his peace. But silence wasn't enough anymore. Megan's dismissive tone during their phone call, "You're overreacting, Ava," fueled Ava's resolve. She opened her laptop and dove deeper into Megan's world, starting with Apex PR, where Megan had climbed to senior executive in record time. A quick search revealed Apex's glossy campaigns for pharmaceutical giants, including Medicor, a company recently under fire for inflating drug prices. Ava's brow furrowed. Megan's social media flaunted designer bags and weekend getaways to Martha's Vineyard, luxuries her salary couldn't sustain. Was Megan's lie at the gala tied to her work? Ava's fingers hesitated over the keyboard. Digging into this could expose more than family drama, but she couldn't stop now. Her phone buzzed, snapping her back to reality. It was a text from an unknown number, "Meet me at Quincy Market, 7 p.m. I know about Megan's lie. Come alone." Ava's heart skipped. The message was cryptic, but the timing was too perfect. Was this the man from the gala? She screenshot the text and forwarded it to her best friend, Sarah, with a note, just in case. Ava wasn't reckless, but she couldn't ignore a lead. At 7 p.m., Quincy Market buzzed with tourists and street performers. Ava scanned the crowd, her navy coat blending with the evening chill. A man approached, mid-40s, wiry, with the same charcoal suit from the gala. "Ava Thompson?" His voice was low, cautious. She nodded, her pulse quickening. "I'm Ethan Cole, freelance investigator. I was at the gala, working a case on Apex PR. Megan's involved in something dirty." Ethan led her to a quiet bench, his eyes darting for eavesdroppers. "Apex is laundering money through fake charity donations," he said, sliding her a folder. "Megan's team handles Medicor's PR, spinning their price hikes as innovation. Your payment to David's bills? It got their attention. They think you're a loose end." Ava's stomach dropped. Her anonymous act of love had somehow flagged her in a corporate scheme. The folder contained emails between Megan and an Apex VP, hinting at discreet transactions tied to a charity linked to the gala. One email mentioned a cover story for a large donation. Ava's mind raced. Megan's lie wasn't just ego, it was a calculated move to pose as the gala's hero, deflecting suspicion from Apex's shady funds. "Why tell me this?" Ava asked, her voice steady despite her fear. Ethan's jaw tightened. "I'm a whistleblower, Ava. I've been building a case against Apex, but I need someone inside. You're clean, and you're motivated. Megan's betrayal gives you leverage." Ava clutched the folder, her mind spinning. This was bigger than she'd imagined, a corporate conspiracy, with her cousin at its heart. But exposing Megan risked dragging David into the mess, something Ava couldn't bear. Back in her Beacon Hill apartment, Ava pored over Ethan's documents. The emails were damning but incomplete, circumstantial at best. She needed hard proof, something to force Megan to confess without hurting David. Her phone rang, and Megan's name flashed. Ava hesitated, then answered. "What do you want?" she asked, her tone icy. Megan's voice was strained, unlike her usual polish. "Ava, we need to meet. Tomorrow, my office. Please." The urgency caught Ava off guard. Was Megan scared? Guilty? Or playing another game? "Fine," Ava said. But no more lies. Hanging up, she felt a surge of adrenaline. Megan was rattled, and Ava intended to press that advantage. The next day, Apex PR's downtown office gleamed with glass and steel. Megan's corner office overlooked the Charles River, a stark contrast to Ava's modest workspace. Megan looked polished in a tailored blazer, but her eyes were tired, shadowed. "I know you're angry," she began, closing the door. "But you don't understand what's at stake. I didn't mean for this to happen." "Mean for what?" Ava snapped, folding her arms. "For lying to David? Or for dragging me into your company's mess?" Megan flinched, her composure cracking. "You don't know what you're talking about," she hissed, glancing at the door. "There are people watching me, Ava. People who don't like loose ends." Ava's pulse quickened. Was Megan admitting to the scheme? Or was this another deflection? Before Ava could press, a knock interrupted. A tall man in a pinstriped suit entered, his smile too smooth. "Megan, everything okay?" he asked, his eyes locking on Ava. Megan's face paled. "Just family stuff, Greg," she said quickly. Greg's gaze lingered, chilling Ava. He was the VP from Ethan's emails. "Good to meet you, Ava," he said, his tone laced with warning. "Heard a lot about you." As Greg left, Ava leaned in, her voice low. "Who's pulling your strings, Megan? What's Apex hiding?" Megan's hands trembled, but she shook her head. "You're in over your head, Ava. Drop this, for David's sake." The mention of David stung, but Ava saw through the manipulation. Megan was scared, and scared people make mistakes. That night, Ava met Ethan at a diner in Back Bay. She shared Greg's appearance and Megan's cryptic warnings. Ethan's eyes narrowed. "Greg Lawson's bad news. He's Apex's fixer. If he's sniffing around, you're on their radar." Ava's resolve hardened. She wasn't just fighting for her truth, she was fighting a system that preyed on people like David, jacking up medical costs while laundering profits. Ethan handed her a USB drive. "This has encrypted files from an Apex insider. It's not enough to nail them, but it's a start. Be careful, Ava. They'll do anything to protect their secret." As Ava slipped the drive into her pocket, a car idled across the street, its tinted windows gleaming. Someone was watching. The stakes were climbing, and Ava knew there was no turning back. Ava Thompson's Beacon Hill apartment was a fortress of determination, its exposed brick walls lit by the soft glow of her laptop screen. It was a week since her tense meeting with Megan Carter at Apex PR's sleek Boston office, and the weight of Ethan Cole's revelations pressed harder each day. Megan's lie at the Liberty Hall Gala, claiming Ava's $47,000 payment for David's medical bills, wasn't just a personal betrayal, it was a cover for Apex's money laundering scheme tied to pharmaceutical giant Medicor. Ava's heart raced as she decrypted the USB drive Ethan had given her, each file pulling her deeper into a corporate conspiracy. The files revealed a trail of falsified donations funneled through the gala's charity, with Megan's name on key approvals. One document, a memo from Greg Lawson, Apex's fixer, instructed Megan to secure the narrative by posing as the donor. Ava's stomach churned. Megan hadn't just stolen her sacrifice for ego, she'd done it to shield Apex's crimes. But the evidence was still incomplete, missing a direct link to Medicor's executives. Ava needed more, and she needed it fast, before Greg's chilling warning, "Heard a lot about you," became a real threat. Her phone buzzed, jarring her. It was Linda, her mother, her voice warm but tinged with worry. "Ava, you've been so distant. Is everything okay? David's asking about you." Ava's throat tightened. She avoided family dinners to protect David, whose cancer recovery was still fragile. "I'm just swamped at the community center, Mom," she lied, hating the deception. "I'll visit soon." Hanging up, Ava's resolve hardened. She couldn't let David or Linda get caught in this web, but silence was eating her alive. Ethan's next meeting was at a crowded South End cafe, the clink of espresso cups masking their whispers. "You're close, Ava," he said, sliding her a burner phone. "This has a recording from an Apex insider, Greg, talking about cleaning up the gala funds. It's not enough to convict, but it's leverage." Ava's fingers brushed the phone, her mind racing. "Leverage for what?" she asked. Ethan's eyes darkened. "To make Megan crack. She's the weak link. Push her, and she'll spill everything." Ava hesitated. Confronting Megan again risked escalation, especially with Greg circling. But Ethan's words echoed her own anger. Megan had betrayed her, David, everyone. Ava nodded, pocketing the phone. "What's the catch?" Ethan leaned closer. "Greg's got eyes everywhere. If Megan panics, she might tip him off. And Ava, don't tell anyone about me." "Not yet." His secrecy unnerved her, but she had no choice. Ethan was her only ally in this fight. The next day, Ava requested a meeting at Megan's Back Bay condo, bypassing Apex's watchful office. Megan agreed, her voice shaky over the phone. The condo was a stark contrast to Ava's modest apartment, marble counters, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the public garden. Megan looked haggard, her usual polish dulled by sleepless eyes. "What do you want, Ava?" she asked, pouring wine with unsteady hands. "I told you to drop this." Ava set the burner phone on the counter, playing the recording. Greg's voice crackled, "The gala donations covered, thanks to your cousin's stunt. Keep her quiet, Megan, or we're both done." Megan's face drained of color, her glass clinking against the counter. "Where did you get that?" she whispered, her eyes darting to the windows as if expecting Greg to materialize. "Doesn't matter," Ava said, her voice steady but fierce. "You're in deep, Megan. Money laundering, fake charities, how long did you think you could hide this? Tell me everything, or I take this to the SEC." Megan's laugh was brittle, desperate. "You think it's that simple? Greg's not just my boss, Ava. He's dangerous. If I talk, I'm finished. And so are you." Ava's heart pounded, but she pressed on. "Then come clean to David. Tell him the truth about the gala. It's the least you owe him." Megan's eyes welled, her facade crumbling. "I can't," she choked. "David thinks I'm a hero. If he knew, if Jake knew," she trailed off, glancing at a framed photo of her and Jake at Cape Cod. Ava saw her chance. "You're scared, Megan. I get it. But lying to David, to Linda, to your own husband, that's not you. Help me stop Apex, and I'll help you get out." Before Megan could respond, her phone rang. She glanced at the screen and froze. "It's Greg," she whispered, her hands trembling. Ava's pulse spiked. "Don't answer," she urged, but Megan's fear overrode her. She hit accept, her voice forced into calm. "Hey, Greg, what's up?" Ava couldn't hear his words, but Megan's face paled further, her eyes flicking to Ava with something like panic. "No, everything's fine," Megan said, her voice cracking. "I'll handle it." The call ended, and Megan's composure shattered. "He knows you're digging, Ava. He mentioned your community center, your grant applications. He's watching you." Ava's blood ran cold. Greg wasn't just a corporate thug, he was targeting her life, her work. "Then we move fast," Ava said, her voice firm despite her fear. "Give me something concrete, Megan. Names, dates, accounts. We can take this to the authorities together." Megan shook her head, tears spilling. "You don't get it. Greg's got people in the police, the DA's office. If I betray him, I lose everything, my job, my marriage, my life." Ava's patience snapped. "And what about my life, Megan? You dragged me into this when you lied at the gala. You don't get to play victim now." Megan flinched, but before she could respond, a sharp knock echoed through the condo. Both women froze. Megan peered through the peephole, her breath hitching. "It's Jake," she whispered, relief mixing with dread. Ava grabbed the burner phone, slipping it into her pocket. "Don't tell him anything," she warned. "Not until we have a plan." Megan nodded, wiping her tears before opening the door. Jake stepped in, his easy smile fading as he sensed the tension. "Everything okay?" he asked, his eyes flicking between them. "Just catching up," Ava said, forcing a smile. But Jake's gaze lingered on Megan's red eyes, her trembling hands. "You sure?" he pressed, his voice soft but probing. Megan nodded too quickly, her laugh hollow. Ava's mind raced. Jake was suspicious, and if he started asking questions, Megan might crack under pressure, alerting Greg. The room felt like a powder keg, one wrong move away from explosion. As Ava left the condo, the Boston skyline loomed like a warning. She clutched Ethan's USB drive, her only leverage in a game growing deadlier by the minute. Megan was teetering, but Ava couldn't trust her to act alone. And Greg's reach was closing in, his threat against her community center a clear message: back off, or lose everything. But Ava wasn't backing down. She'd find a way to expose Apex and force Megan's confession, legally, for David's sake. The question was, who would break first? Ava Thompson's breath fogged in the crisp Boston dawn as she jogged along the Charles River, her sneakers pounding the path with fierce determination. 10 days had passed since her confrontation in Megan Carter's Back Bay condo, where Megan's tearful refusal to confess had left Ava teetering between fury and pity. The burner phone's recording and Ethan Cole's USB drive burned a hole in her resolve, proof that Megan's gala lie, claiming Ava's $47,000 payment for David's medical bills, was a shield for Apex PR's money laundering scheme. But Greg Lawson's threat against Ava's community center loomed larger, a noose tightening with each step she took. Ava's mind churned. Megan was crumbling, but Jake's suspicion at the condo had added a wild card. If Jake confronted Megan, she might spill everything to Greg, Apex's ruthless fixer, endangering them all. Ethan's warning echoed, Greg's got eyes everywhere. Ava needed a plan to force Megan's hand without alerting Greg or hurting David, whose cancer recovery remained her North Star. She slowed her pace, checking her phone. A new email from Ethan, SEC contact ready. Need hard evidence by Friday. Watch your back. Friday was 3 days away. At the Boston Hope Community Center, Ava's office felt like a war room. She locked the door, opened her laptop, and cross-referenced Ethan's files with Apex's public records. A pattern emerged. Medicorp's charity grants matched Apex's gala donations, funneled through shell accounts. One name stood out, Claire Hensley, a low-level Apex accountant who'd signed off on the transfers. Claire's LinkedIn showed she'd left Apex abruptly last month. A whistleblower? Ava sent her a cautious message, I'm investigating Apex's gala funds. Can we talk? Her phone pinged instantly, meet me at Fenway Park, 6 p.m. No names. Fenway's bleachers were nearly empty, the off-season quiet amplifying Ava's nerves. Claire, a nervous woman in her 40s with mousy hair, sat clutching a coffee. "You're Ava?" she whispered, eyes darting. "I know about the gala. Megan's lie wasn't her idea, Greg forced her. He's got dirt on her, some old campaign she fudged." Ava's pulse quickened. "What dirt?" Claire hesitated. "I don't know details, but Megan's terrified. I have files, bank records, emails, but Greg's watching me too. If he finds out," she slid Ava a flash drive, her hands shaking. "Get this to the SEC. I'm done hiding." Ava's heart soared, but danger loomed. As Claire left, Ava spotted a black SUV idling across the street, its driver obscured. Greg's men? She slipped the flash drive into her bra, her jogger's disguise suddenly feeling flimsy. Back home, she decrypted Claire's files, damning proof of Medicorp's laundered funds, with Megan's digital signature on every transaction. But one email chilled her, a directive from Greg to neutralize any leaks, starting with Thompson. Ava was a target. Desperate, Ava texted Megan, "Meet me at Harborwalk, 9 p.m. Bring the truth, or I go public." Megan's reply was frantic, "You don't know what you're doing." "I'll be there." The Harborwalk's salty breeze did little to calm Ava's nerves as she waited, the city's skyline glittering like a taunt. Megan arrived, her coat pulled tight, eyes hollow. "You're ruining everything," she hissed. "Greg knows you met Claire. He's threatening Jake now." Ava's blood ran cold, but she held firm, pulling out Claire's flash drive. "This ends now, Megan. These files prove Apex's crimes, and your role. Confess to David about the gala, cooperate with the SEC, or I hand this over." Megan's face twisted with fear and rage. "You think I wanted this? Greg trapped me. I lied at the gala to protect myself, not to hurt you." Ava's voice softened, but only slightly. "Then make it right. For David. For Jake." Before Megan could answer, headlights flashed. The black SUV from Fenway screeched to a stop, and Greg stepped out, his pinstriped suit stark against the night. "Ladies, we need to talk," he said, his smile venomous. Ava's heart pounded, but she stood her ground, clutching the flash drive. Megan whimpered, stepping back. "Greg, I didn't say anything," she pleaded. His eyes locked on Ava. "You're the problem, Thompson. Hand over whatever Claire gave you, and maybe your dad stays out of this." Ava's mind raced. Greg's threat against David was a gut punch, but giving in meant Apex's crimes would continue. She needed time. "I don't have it," she lied, her voice steady. "But I've got copies, and they're with someone you'll never find." Greg's smile faded, his hand twitching toward his jacket. Ava's breath caught. Was he armed? Before he could act, a siren wailed nearby, and red blue lights flashed. Greg cursed, retreating to the SUV. "This isn't over," he snarled, speeding off. Megan collapsed, sobbing. "He'll kill me, Ava." Ava knelt beside her, torn between anger and pity. "He won't if we act first. Come with me to the SEC tomorrow. Tell them everything, about Apex, the gala, all of it. It's your only way out." Megan's sobs quieted, her eyes searching Ava's. "You'd still help me? After everything?" Ava's jaw tightened. "Not for you. For David." Megan nodded, broken but resolute. As Ava walked Megan to her car, her phone buzzed. "Ethan, police tipped off by my contact. You're safe for now. SEC meeting set for 10 a.m. Relief flooded Ava, but the night's close call lingered. Greg was still out there, and Megan's confession was no guarantee. Ava glanced at the flash drive, its weight a promise and a burden. Tomorrow, she'd face the SEC, but tonight, she'd call David and Linda, needing their voices to anchor her. The trap was tightening, but Ava was ready to spring it, legally, for justice. Ava Thompson stood outside the SEC's Boston office, the morning sun glinting off its glass facade. Her heart pounded as she clutched Claire Hensley's flash drive, its damning evidence of Apex PR's money laundering scheme, her ticket to justice. Last night's Harborwalk standoff, Greg Lawson's chilling threat, and Megan Carter's tearful promise to confess had pushed Ava to the edge. Today, she'd end the lies that began at the Liberty Hall Gala, where Megan stole credit for Ava's $47,000 sacrifice to clear David's medical bills. For David, Ava would see this through, lawfully. Megan arrived, pale and trembling, her usual polish replaced by raw fear. "I'm here," she whispered, avoiding Ava's gaze. Ava nodded, her anger tempered by pity. Megan's betrayal had sparked this fight, but her cooperation could end it. Inside, Ethan Cole waited, his whistleblower status now official. He'd arranged the meeting with Sandra Kim, an SEC investigator known for dismantling corporate fraud. "You've got one shot," Ethan warned. "Make it count." Sandra's office was stark, her gaze sharper. Ava handed over the flash drive and burner phone, detailing Apex's fake charity donations, Medicorp's price gouging, and Megan's gala lie as a cover. Megan's voice shook as she confessed, "Greg forced me to claim the donation. He's got leverage, old campaign fraud I buried. I was scared." Sandra's eyes narrowed. "You're implicating Greg Lawson and Medicorp's board. You'll need to testify." Megan nodded, tears falling. "I'll do it. For my family." Ava's chest tightened as she added, "My father, David, was a victim of Medicorp's prices. My payment was for him, not Apex's scheme. Megan's lie hurt me, but Greg's the real threat." Sandra leaned back, assessing. "We've been tracking Medicorp. Your evidence ties it together. But Greg's connected, political allies, offshore accounts. We'll need airtight proof." Ethan slid over a laptop. "My insider's data, wire transfers, emails. It's enough for warrants." The meeting stretched hours, Ava's nerves fraying as Sandra grilled Megan on details. A twist came when Megan revealed Greg's cleaner, a fixer named Victor, who'd tailed Ava at Fenway. "Victor's got a safe in Greg's office, hard copies of every deal," Megan said. Sandra's team mobilized, coordinating with the FBI. Ava's relief was cut short by a text from Jake, Megan's not answering. "Is she with you?" Ava's stomach dropped. Jake's suspicion could unravel everything. Back at her Beacon Hill apartment, Ava called Jake, her voice calm despite her fear. "Megan's safe, working on something important. Trust me." Jake's tone was tight. "She's been off for weeks, Ava." "What's going on?" Ava hesitated, then said, "She'll explain soon. Just give her time." Hanging up, Ava prayed Megan's resolve would hold. A knock startled her, Linda, her mother, eyes worried. "Ava, David's noticed you're distant. And Megan's a mess." "What's wrong?" Ava's heart ached. She hugged Linda, dodging the truth. "Work's crazy, Mom. I'll visit David tomorrow." Linda's frown deepened, but she left. Ava's phone buzzed, "Ethan, FBI raided Apex. Greg's in custody." Victor flipped, gave up the safe. Elation surged, but Ava knew the real test was coming. Megan's public confession to David and Linda would seal her redemption, or break her. That evening, Ava organized a family dinner at David's cozy Jamaica Plain home, the scent of Linda's lasagna filling the air. David's warm smile nearly undid Ava, but she steeled herself. Megan arrived, clutching Jake's hand, her face a mask of dread. As dessert was served, Ava nodded to Megan. "It's time." Megan stood, her voice trembling. "I have to tell you something. At the gala, I lied. I didn't pay David's bills, Ava did. I was covering for my company's crimes." The room froze. David's face paled, Linda's hand flew to her mouth, and Jake's jaw tightened. Megan's tears fell as she continued. "Apex was laundering money. I was scared, trapped by my boss, Greg." Ava uncovered it, risked everything to stop them. I'm so sorry, David, Linda, Jake. And Ava, you're the hero I could never be. She sank into her chair, sobbing. Jake pulled her close, his anger softening into pain. David rose, crossing to Ava. You paid my bills? His voice cracked. Ava nodded, tears spilling. I just wanted you to heal, Dad. He hugged her, whispering, I'm so proud of you. Linda joined, her embrace fierce. You're our rock, Ava. The moment was bittersweet, Megan's confession a raw wound, but Ava felt lighter. Justice wasn't just exposing Apex, it was this, her family whole. Months later, the fallout settled. Greg and Medicorp's executives faced trial, Claire's files and Megan's testimony key to convictions. Megan, granted leniency for cooperating, left Apex and started therapy, her text to Ava tentative but earnest. Jake stood by her, their marriage strained but healing. David and Linda grew closer to Ava, their pride evident at every community center event. Ava, now a local hero, channeled the attention into advocacy, fighting medical debt through policy, not just payments. As Ava stood on the harbor walk, the Boston skyline aglow, she felt peace. Megan's lie had sparked a war, but Ava's truth had won, legally, morally, for David. The scars remained, but so did hope. Justice wasn't perfect, but it was enough.